I'm Brian Lowry, professor at Stanford University and host of the podcast Know What You See, where we examine the hidden social forces that affect all of our lives. To give you a sense of what we do on the podcast, I'm going to explore some social issues and have hot takes. Now, you might not agree with all of them. In fact, I hope you don't, but follow along and let me know what you think in the comments. Jonathan and Amy are producers on the show, and they clearly have views. Let's talk about it.
Was Kendrick too mean? To Drake, or like?
It's frivolous, right? In some sense, you shouldn't care. At the same time, it was so intriguing in terms of the way people were thinking about race. That question of like, who gets to be black? How do you decide what's black enough? The challenge to Drake was really like, does the community accept him as black? And I think the winning, to the extent that Kendrick won, which I think most people believe he did, is that he convinced people, I think, that Drake was fake, and fake in the sense that he was presenting himself as something that he actually wasn't. And this is like, I think, like a Rachel Dolezal kind of situation.
Do you think there's a nationality thing at play? Because it is a Canadian black man kind of in the sphere of hip hop. And then you have, Kendrick is from like Compton, LA, pure hip hop. You think there's something at play that gives Drake, I guess, less credibility, or people more leniency to say he has less credibility in his blackness?
I don't think it's the Canadian thing. I think it's like he didn't look black, that there was a perception he was trying to change the way he looked. That was also, the BBL jersey, like that whole thing, that he was making an effort to change how he looked. And then it was a class thing, like he didn't come from like the hood, like he grew up in a well-off way. I think that played out, because I don't think if he was like West Indian and Canadian, they wouldn't have played him like that. People talk about intersectionality and don't really know what it means. This is where I think that is an interesting example. Like, he's Canadian, he's mixed, and he's like, let's say grew up middle class or something. Like, those things in combination were read as like possibly not black.